a new song, tentatively titled Back to Your Flat, that I wrote when I was in Berlin on my Watson Fellowship. And it's about the people that you meet when you're traveling, which is wonderful, except that you have to then leave them behind. You sent to steal a mattress, and my hairs are on your sweater. But I started out actually doing a lot of vocal work. I sang in children's choirs from a really young age, and through them got some excellent vocal and ear training, which was really important, and also some fantastic performance experience. Could have guessed that when we laughed our way back to your flat, we never come back the same. Oh, and we laughed our way back to your flat, we never come back the same. So I started out doing Celtic music mostly. I did a lot of Scottish harp competitions and had the good fortune to get sent to Edinburgh. I was winning a bunch of contests, and they sent me to this big international harp festival they have in Scotland every year, and invited me to play. And it was one of those moments that's kind of important in any young musician or creative artist's life, which is when you sort of finally get good enough to realize how bad you are. And we laughed our way back to your flat, and we never come back the same. Oh, and I hope it's serendipity. Oh, the traveler's patron saint is smiling sweetly on you now as you bike home in the rain. I'm a dual citizen with Switzerland, so I decided to go and learn French. So I dropped out of my high school and enrolled in a program in Switzerland, in Lausanne, and spent the fall there just studying French. And I suddenly had all this free time on my hands that I hadn't had back in the United States, because I wasn't taking, I'd been studying opera and music and in all these groups after school. And suddenly I didn't have any friends or music lessons, but I was used to practicing an awful lot. And so two things happened. One is I got a lot of time, a lot of free time, and the other thing is that I discovered the poetry of Philip Larkin, who's a British poet, and those two things combined got me started writing my own songs. And we laughed our way back to your flat, and we never come back, may never come back. Do-do-do-do. Oh, 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 oh. This is another new tune. It's called The Canonization of Margot Price. And I wrote it in honor of a friend of mine who has struggled with eating disorders for a long time. That night I climbed the stairs as though I were making a pilgrimage. When you play in Philly, I sort of cut my teeth in these little dive bars and clubs and open mics, and people heckle you, and it's kind of great, actually. I really love that part of the Philadelphia audience culture.
Yeah, you play anywhere else in the world.
You play anywhere, so people just aren't the same thing. Yeah,
right.
Whether it's good or bad, they'll sort of interrupt you if they don't like you, but they'll also sort of interrupt you if they like it, which is great feedback. When you're starting to write and starting to learn how to perform and interact with an audience, and it's incredibly, it's hard, but it's also really empowering later once you've learned how to shut up a room, like a bar full of noisy drunks who don't want to hear harp music,
Totally.
But getting used to doing that is actually a really great gift. Of Baltimore. Bone rubbing, bone noise, land milk dribbling off her jaw until the box was gone. I saw her there through the bathroom door, purging her. You know, if people encounter harp, it's typically at a wedding or at the orchestra. Those are sort of the two places where people sort of see them on occasion, and both of those spaces are really formal affairs, you know, and so they're very sort of solemn, sometimes relaxing, but very sort of, there's a lot of pomp and circumstance around it. And so I really like getting to pull the harp into bars, or I've played on moving trains before, and I carried it on my back all through 7 countries, and getting it out into that sort of a realm, sort of bringing it out of these really formal spaces is exciting to me, and I'm excited by being able to bring the instrument, I think, to an audience that might not otherwise be particularly interested. She has starved to death, and of the one who cut off her breast, I thought of lighting votives on her clavicle, like the ones burning in the catacombs of Paris, and praying for her resurrection, saying, come back to me, oh please.